In this live stream, we are going to discuss visual distress signals for new deck cadets on board the ship. If you are somebody who is well experienced on board the ship, you don't need to watch this live stream. Okay, but if you're somebody in the senior high school department or first year deck cadet in marine transportation, this live stream is specifically for you. We are going to tackle what are the different types of visual distress signals if your ship is in distress or sinking. Okay, let's get started. Oh yeah, by the way, okay, this video is also inside of my third officer crash course. You could purchase it. You have the instructions down below. Okay, I'll give you a preview of what's inside my course. Okay, first you have the EPIRB or emergency position indicating radio beacon. Okay, this alerts all ships at the vicinity at around 150 to 200 nautical miles. There are brand new models that could reach 1,200. Okay, but it's very expensive and only a handful of shipping companies would purchase it. Emergency position indicating radio beacon displays a beacon from the name itself on your ECDIS and radar. Okay, it shows you the position of the vessel in distress. It would transmit a data on the satellites, bounce back and then bounce back and then bounce back. Okay, to the nearest station. You could have ship-to-ship station or ship-to-shore station. This is EPIRB. Oh, by the way, your EPIRB is attached on the port and starboard side of your vessel.
The satellite EPIRB is activated when it is removed from the installed position in the parent ship, and transmission starts automatically. The name and position of the vessel in distress, etc., are sent to the Earth stations via satellite. Should the ship sink, the EPIRB floats by itself.
Yes, okay. If the ship sinks, did you hear that one? If the ship sinks, it will be a float-free EPIRB. Okay, most vessels, the modern ones at least, well, they have modern float-free EPIRB. 121.5 megahertz.
And automatically begins transmission.
Next, you have the Sart or the search and rescue. Okay, search and rescue radar transponder. Okay, and this works similar with the EPIRB, but only in a smaller scale. But also at the same time, they have a different type of display, concentric circles on your radar. The radar, okay, would detect it only on the X band, 9 gigahertz, 3 centimeter. Okay, it will never be detected by the there are some specific radar Sart models, okay, but it's much stronger if it's an X band 9 gigahertz radar. It will detect more the transmission of the Sart. You will flip this, okay? You will flip this like a bottle, and then you would attach it on your, let's say, lifeboat or life raft, and you will see concentric circles, okay, in your radar, X-band 9 GHz 3 cm.
The Sart radio transponder is used for search and rescue of survivors via GMDSS, Global Maritime Distress and Safety System.
Now, GMDSS is the System of Maritime Safety and Information, navigational warnings for distress, medical need. It's a system of communication, ship to ship or ship to shore. Okay? See, I told you, you will flip it, okay? And then you would attach it to your life raft or lifeboat. You have a rod outside of your lifeboat. There is a metal pole. It's like a flagpole but mini. Then you attach it, this metal rod, you see this metal rod, you will attach it, and then it will transmit a signal. Okay? By the way, you have a Sart attached on your inside the bridge, of course. Okay, and you also have a Sart on your lifeboat. See, this is it. This is the radar, ship position, accident, ship position, image of Sart. You could see the concentric
Receives
lines.
transmissions from radar units installed on search and rescue boats, aircraft, etc., and transmits response signals.
You have the visual signals next. Okay, so these are your smoke signals. This is your self-igniting light. You have your parachute flare here. Okay, and you have your hand flares here. Okay, hand flares, parachute flare, smoke signals, self-igniting light. Self-igniting light is attached to your life buoy or life ring. Okay, in Filipino, we call it salbabida. Okay,
Distress signals for vessels. A flash and a large amount of orange-colored smoke help identify the
see, this is your smoke signal.
position of the vessel. Visual signals are required to have a useful life of 3 to 3.5 years and are stored in a special resin container.
Twist it. Okay, to use a flare, you have to twist it.
Signals, especially those
There
made
you
of
go.
gunpowder, should not be pointed towards a person. Should be used only during an emergency.
Okay, let me repeat that one. You can only use the flares for emergency. By the way, there were cases of misuse or wrong use of the flares, and Coast Guard, this happened in the US way back in the day when I was still on board. A boatman used a flare, okay, near the coastal waters of Mississippi. And the Coast Guard has seen this, responded to it, and they were asking who sent that flare. Okay? And there were no distress. If you see a red flare, that's a distress. Nobody was distressed, but they were just playing with it. Okay? You should never do that one on board the ship. Okay? And that boatman were fined by Coast Guard roughly $20,000 US dollars. $20,000 times 58. You know the price. You convert it.
Should not be put back in their container once the pull ring has been pulled.
Yes, okay? Once the pull ring has been pulled, okay? Never keep it. You throw it away.
And should be used only for sending distress signals.
You know, this is the self-igniting light. Self-igniting light means, okay, usually it's stowed like this, okay? So once it gets on the water, it will automatically flip. The battery would go down and then it would light up this side, okay? It's like a bottle. It's like this. Wait, let me give you an example so you could understand me. This is the up part. I don't know if you can see. Wait. Okay, this is the up part and this is the lower part, okay? And originally it's stowed like this. Okay? Once it gets, okay, on the water, it will float free, and then this, okay, it will light up. Okay, the battery would go down, okay? If it's originally stowed like this is the downside, this is the upside, okay? Once it gets on the water, bam, it will switch like this, it will flip like this, the battery would fall down, and then it will ignite on its own. Okay?
Self-activating smoke signals are used either as distress signals for the parent ship or in order to indicate the position of a lifebuoy to a person overboard. They are tied to the lifebuoy when used.
Yes, okay? On board the ship, not all life buoys or life rings have smoke signals, okay? Your life buoys and other life rings on board the ship only have, let's just say, rope, okay? Or self-igniting light. Okay? On your man overboard buoy, on your bridge wings, they have smoke signals, okay? And igniting light. Okay?
Once thrown into the sea, they self-activate and continuously produce smoke for 15 minutes or more. Buoyant smoke signals are designed for daylight signaling purposes on lifeboats and life rafts, and they continuously produce smoke for 3 minutes or more. The ignition is manual, and the performance is almost identical to self-activating smoke signals.
Exactly. See? This is the top part, this is the bottom part. Okay? Look at it. Okay?
Self-igniting lights are signals that automatically ignite when thrown into water.
Exactly my point.
They continuously produce white light or flashes of 2 candelas for at least 2 hours. Like self-activating smoke signals, they are tied to a lifebuoy when used. Rocket parachute signals are launched by rockets to a height of over 300 meters. They descend with a parachute while producing a red flare of about 30,000 candelas for 40 seconds or more. Rocket star signals are launched by rockets to a height not less than 150 meters, producing red star.
Okay, it will produce a star or rocket star signals, okay, if your vessel is in distress.
Of about 250 candelas for 3 seconds or more.
Again, these series of tests, okay, are only done in an atmosphere or area where the Coast Guard has allowed you. Okay, you cannot do this on board if you have expired flares. Okay, you could play around, diba? If you are in an area where the Coast Guard is not that strict regarding these principles, or maybe you are in open sea, you could test your expired, let's just say, flares. You know, you want to renew it, or let's just say defective flares. Okay, or your star signals, you could practice it on board the ship. Okay?
250 candelas for 3 seconds or more. Remove the caps on the top and bottom.
Yep, there you go. Then you pull the string down below. Hold.
Remove the safety pin, then lift the ignition lever. To launch, while holding the body of the signal vertically, press the ignition lever in the rocket body with your palm.
Now, it depends on the model. There are rocket star signals or parachute flares that you don't need to have a lever. They have models that have you just twist it and it will automatically launch. Okay, there are models like that one. Okay, so in this training purpose, I'm just giving you a preview. Okay, because some of you might complain, Sir Phil, this model is different from, of course, it's going to be a different model. Okay, they're not all the same, but they have the same principle. Okay, so don't easily complain.
Hand flares indicate the position of lifeboats and life rafts. A red-colored flare of about 15,000 candelas.
Same thing. Okay, there are hand flares that you just have to twist it and it will automatically launch. Or sometimes you just have to pull a lever, okay, small lever, just like this one, okay, and it will ignite. Okay, it depends.
Is continuously produced for at least 1 minute. To ignite a hand flare, lift the grip and pull out the ignition cap. After ignition starts, hold it as far away from your body as possible, keeping it on the leeward side.
Alright, there you go. You have the man overboard life buoy. Okay, this is located at your bridge wings. Okay, you have the self-igniting light and the smoke signal. Now, if you are the third officer of the crew in the future, okay, which is you, okay, you need to have a man overboard man overboard buoy smoke signal expiration date. Okay, on board the ship we usually put the expiration date of that smoke signal. Okay, and at the same time there is a connecting pin that is securing the life buoy. Okay, on your bridge wings there is a pin. This is, for example, this is your life ring. This is the life buoy. Okay, you have a pin at the middle. Okay, wait, okay, yeah. Okay, securing it. Okay, securing it. And then this pin, okay, this pin should be lubricated. Okay, because there were times that some of our vessels from our fleet way back in the day were detained by the port state control because the pin at the man overboard buoy, okay, it's not easily detached or removed. Hindi mo siya matanggal kagad. Okay, you cannot easily pull it. Okay, there is rust. Okay, or it's not well lubricated. Okay, so the Coast Guard has suggested that you should lubricate that connecting pin very well, so when emergency arises, man overboard, you could immediately pull out the pin and the life buoy would just fall down. Okay, remember, this is heavy. Okay, this is heavy. It's not that light.
The floating body of a lifebuoy is made mainly of cork. Those used for rapid release gear weigh 4
Okay, you see this? There is a pin, okay, attached here. Okay, there is a pin. You must well lubricate it. Okay, and so when emergency arises, you could just take it out easily. Okay, now we usually put a stencil near this side. Okay, on the other side of this one, of this metal plate, there is a side of this, and then we put a stencil, man overboard smoke expiration date. Okay, we put the expiration date. Okay, so when the Coast Guard sees it, you guys are monitoring the smoke signal expiration date, la-di-da, good job, good job. Okay, we have no deficiency, especially when we were in US territorial waters way back in the day.
Kilograms or more, and those for other devices weigh approximately 2.5 kilograms.
See, it's not that quite light. Okay, it weighs 2.5 kilos. You have the line throwing appliance. Okay, and you should remove this cover, and then, oh yeah, by the way, never, if you are using the line throwing appliance, do not look at this side. Okay, do not look at the side, and then, you know, maybe the rope would smack you in the face. Okay, because way back in the day, there were seafarers who are quite stupid. Okay, they were wondering, why is my line throwing appliance not working? And as for their stupidity, they look at the trajectory of the line throwing appliance, and then when they press the button, or maybe they twist it, okay, it immediately launched. Okay, so again, do not be stupid.
Line throwing appliances are capable of launching a line and reaching a distance of over 230 meters toward the distressed vessel.
Exactly, 230 meters.
A set comprises one rocket-type launcher, 4 or more projectiles, and a line longer than 320 meters.
Exactly. Actuators. See, don't put your face near this area.
Remove the front covers on the top and bottom.
Okay, remove the front covers first.
Remove the wire cord attached to each projectile.
You see his position. As per safety, he's not putting his face near this area, the trajectory of the line. Okay?
Connect the end of the rope at the back of the case to the ship's structure.
Yep, you need to tie it on a securing point. Okay, a strong structure, permanent structure of a ship.
Handrail, etc.
Remove the pin.
Remove the safety pin and pull the trigger.
Okay, you could remove the pin. Okay, and never put your face on this trajectory. Okay, because there were times that, you know, they were trying to press it and it's not coming out. Okay, and then they looked, oh shoot. Okay, they immediately press it, and when they look, bang, it hit them in the face. Now, there are models that are not like this, just like a trigger, just like a gun. There are models that you twist it. Okay, there are models that you twist it. And by the way, that's the end of our live stream. These are the basics of visual distress signals for new deck cadets. Okay, and by the way, a quick recap, this video is also inside the third officer crash course. You have the instructions below how to purchase it. Okay, it's only 127 pesos or roughly $3. Okay, and it's gonna have a shortcut for you. Okay, so you cannot be easily intimidated by your next rank as a third mate and or second mate. Okay? So then again, hope you guys learned something new. Be happy, be healthy, and most importantly, to God be all the glory. Keep safe. Take